Good morning, one and all. Today is Friday, the 27th of September 2019. Just gone 7:30 here in the UK, and let's just have a look at what's going on in the market. So, first of all, on this Friday, again, not really looking to open any positions, any new positions. Just as I always say, holding positions into the weekend does carry some additional risk because you've got the gap between when the market closes on the Friday and when it opens on the Monday. So I prefer, if possible, not to open new positions on Fridays. But you know, there's always exceptions to the rule. But as a general rule, no, I don't do that. I don't look to do that actively. So let's kick off. Let's just go through the market, see what's happening now. You can see as well, I've got these 4 positions open over 2 different currencies. These are going okay, so we'll come to these a bit later. But let's just start off and go through in the normal order. Starting with the AUD CAD, and just a quick summary of the strategy, trend-based strategy based on time frame correlation and price action as well. So firstly, we're looking for trends to be in place on the daily. So we want lower lows, lower highs in a downtrend, higher highs, higher lows in an uptrend. We'll then use the standard deviation around the price to help determine how overbought or oversold the price is. In the upper half of the standard deviation in a downtrend is an area which I deem to be overbought and therefore has a tendency to move lower, and in an uptrend it's the opposite. It's the lower half that I'll be looking at to the price to be oversold and therefore have the likelihood of moving up again. So once I've deemed that the trade looks okay on a daily, then I would look for correlation on these lower time frames, so the 4 hourly, 1 hour, 15 and 5, basically to be telling a very similar story to what the daily is. And if that's in place, then I would consider taking up a trade. So let's crack on with the AUD CAD. AUD CAD at the moment bearish overall. It had produced this lower high here, but at the moment we can see it's just moved away from that. It's gone into extension, and it's just a bit late to be in on this. If we look at the daily, we can see the support that the price is currently moving into. I think I would have mentioned this yesterday, but there's just a crazy amount of support that you'd be selling into, and the price has just moved too far off from its previous lower high to make this viable. It would mean our stop loss would be above here, so an entry here, 1-to-1 reward to risk. It means that our profit target is all the way down here, even to reach 1-to-1. That's asking a lot of the market, because it would need to break these previous lows, this previous support, produce a new lower low. Yeah, it's just a lot to ask. So for now, AUD CAD still bearish overall, bearish overview of this, but certainly the price will need to pull back to give a bit more value for money before considering on shorts. So next on the list here, AUD CHF. Let's have a look at this. Oh, what's going on there? One sec. So stop moving. There we go. All right, that'll do. So AUD CHF. I would leave this for now because we've got the price retracing at the moment. There's overall, if you were to look at the weekly, in fact, let's look at the weekly. So this is the weekly. This here is clearly some bearish movement. So let's go back down to the daily. It's quite prolonged on the daily, but this most recent kind of pullback here is quite bullish. So this price, I would deem this overall still to be bearish, but it's in a retrace. So the price is kind of in the kind of medium term to short term is up. And just looking at these, no, there's not a lot of congruence here that I can see to make this tradable, because we've got an hourly saying bearish. The daily could be either way. the 4 hourly is bearish. So when there's this kind of indecision or lack of congruence between the time frames in terms of what I want to see, the best thing to do is pass. So yeah, I won't labor the point on that. Let's look at the other videos from earlier in the week in this playlist that will go into a bit more depth on how this has progressed and how I'm viewing this. So AUD CHF, pass on that. AUD JPY, similar story to the last one we looked at. Bearish overall in terms of this move, but it's also retraced recently as well, and we can see the indecision here in terms of the 4 hourly still being bearish. Actually, it's a slightly different story. This here, it's not great for trading, because if we wanted to trade this upward move here, then our 4 hourly would need to be more decisively bullish, and as would our hourly and lower time frames as well. So all of these now, this is bearish, but it's flattening out and it's hitting support. So in next week we could see that this what we're seeing on the daily and echoed on the lower time frames, this support that we've seen here as it's hit over the last week, going into next week, this might start to show some more bullishness. So these might start to roll over, these previous highs here taken out, and the price start to move with higher highs and higher lows. That would be the time that I would be more comfortable taking a long position on this, because there'd just be more weight behind it to make that more convincing that this, even if it is short term, is going to at least make some make a viable profit, because it would mean a stop loss below these levels here, and then take profits ideally before these previous highs here. But that's conjecture, so we would need to wait for next week for that to be something we can look into more. So AUD USD, bearish overall on the daily, bearish, yeah. I think I've mentioned this a few times. My main issue with this is the fact that, making sense on the daily, the stop loss would need to be above here, which projects our take profit way beyond these previous lows here. If just eyeballing that, we can see, look, this here is what, 150 pips, and 150 pips for it to move short would be around about these levels here. So it needs to break those lows, break that support, move much lower in that kind of impulse move. So I would pass on that. There is a slightly more aggressive trade you could take if you did want to short this. You could use the lower time frame, so that 4 hourly, for example. So these previous lower highs, you could put your stop loss here. So that would mean a 1-to-1 take profit would still be before these lows here. So entering here, because the price is in a reasonably good place. So it's about 50 pips. So 50 pips on a 1-to-1 raw to risk would mean your take profits around here. So that would stack. It's just more risky because the stop here doesn't clear the previous lower high. This is the kind, on the context of the daily, this is the lower high. So for me, I'd want my stop loss above that level for the most safe and lowest risk type of trade. Putting it here means that your stop is going to be here in the context of the daily, so the price could still retrace but overall still be bearish. But because you've got a very tight stop, it means you've been stopped out too early to take advantage of the bigger move. So yeah, there's an aggressive trade in there for the AUD USD if you want to take it, but I would just wait for more value personally. CADCHF, no. CADJPY, yes, I think I would have mentioned this yesterday. Short on this, yeah, I'd be willing to open a position on this if I wasn't already in trades already. This here still holds true as a decent trade. Got lower lows, lower highs on the daily, some nice resistance at the previous lower high here. Stop loss above this level here. So if we take it to these lower time frames, let's have a look on the 4 hour actually. So our stop would be above these highs here. That makes sense. And we'd be looking for a 1-to-1 would put our take profit around about this level, around about here, right? And I would see opportunities to scale in on this if the price were to continue down in this bearish move of lower lows and lower highs. Just thing to be aware about is the swaps on this. So this is likely to be something you're going to have to carry into the weekend, and the swaps are quite hefty on this with my broker. But you know, minus 7.3 for me with my broker per lot. So yeah, I'd be looking for shorts on this, stop loss above there, 1-to-1. But just bear in mind the swaps could be quite hefty, and you know, this is the type of profit target you could go for beyond 1-to-1. These previous lows where the price begin to get oversold here, these levels. So there's viably 2-to-1, 3-to-1 in this, you know, and at the least in terms of where you could take profits. So yeah, I'll be thinking of this today if I wasn't already in positions. CADCHF, it looks good, and this is one I am in. This may take a little bit more time to mature. So this is the CHFJPY. Got these two positions in here, running at about 70, running about just around 75 after swaps and comms, £75. So it's similar to the last one we looked at. Nice lower lows, lower highs on the daily. Lots of scope. You can see I'm following that same logic, looking to take profits before this previous low here. So yeah, there's not much more to add to that. This price action is kind of fulfilling as I'd like. It's going to be a while in the coming if it does continue like this, but it's developing nicely. So I'll have to come back to this on Monday just to let you know how that has progressed. So Euro AUD, no, I pass on this. It's some nice bullishness, but this price action has started to be invalidated here. We can see on the 4-hourly it stopped producing higher lows here. In this most recent move, this was the previous higher low and the price has moved past that, so it's starting to potentially create lower lows and lower highs, which isn't the story you want it to tell. You want it to be showing higher highs and higher lows like the daily is, so I would pass on that. This is the other one that I'm in, the EURCAD. Again, nice signs of bearishness on this. I would anticipate this hits take profit today. If it does, you know, nothing's a given, but the price action is forming nicely to suggest that. So we can see the daily. You see, I took my position initially up here, where it was in this overbought area, and we saw some reversal candles. At that time, the lower time frames have started to roll over and start to show lower lows, lower highs as well. Premise for the entry, had a stop loss above the previous lower highs, and I scaled into this. So currently I have 2% in this position, and it's about I think it's about 2.5 to 3% take profit on this. See down here, the swaps are quite generous on this as well. These are paid swaps, so this is definitely one I'm comfortable to have in over a prolonged period of time. So yeah, so this is about 220 at the moment, or after that it's about 230 give or take. So yeah, this should hit take profit today. Again, can't guarantee that or say that now. It might do something else, but I'm happy to leave this in for you know, to see how this progresses, and you know, hopefully take a profit on that at a decent return. So okay, let's move on to the next one. Euro Swissy, no, wouldn't be looking to this. This is just, again, too much support the price has moved into. Definitely bearish overall, but it's found support. I don't want to sell into that support, so pass. Nope. Euro GBP, nothing can really see there. Euro JPY, no, this price action, this needs to pull back. It's reasonably bearish, but again, it's kind of finding, you can see on the daily, it's kind of interacting now with this support level here. Don't want to be selling into that. Want to see this pull back to give some more value for money in terms of an entry. So pull back, interact with our upper standard deviation channels, show some reversal candles, and the price move lower. So pass on that. No. Euro NZD, pass. No, this is too late. This has gone far too. We want to get in as close as possible to the lower high, and this has moved off quite considerably. So pass. Pass. I mean, this is looking interesting. Probably one for next week. But this move here. This is what's caught my eye on this is this yesterday's candle. So what I'd want to see is, and we've got obviously the 4 hourly showing some nice signs of bullishness as well. Higher highs, higher lows. Hourly is very bearish, but if this candle's high starts, the price moves past yesterday's candle's high, what that would also mean is there's likelihood of higher lows and higher highs on the lower time frames as well, and that would allow for a positioning with a stop loss below this here. So this would then become what we'd assume is a higher low and an uptrend, right? So it would allow for a stop loss placement below here. Obviously there's some other confirming factors that this is in fact a reasonably good area of support. The way that there's been previous resistance here, it's quite zonal some areas, but here probably goes back as well. But stop loss below here would make sense. It's just seeing some more confirming price action on those lower time frames to see the price move higher past yesterday's high as well. And then yeah, I mean, a stop loss under here, let's say just suppose we have an entry around there. That would mean 140 odd. So yeah, you'd be taking a 1-to-1 profit around these levels, which is good because it's way before the previous higher high that was there. It's still within the standard deviation channel, so it's not interacting with these upper edges here as of yet. So that stacks, and that, you know, that could viably go beyond a 1-to-1 to even, you know, 2-to-1, possibly 3-to-1, depending on how the entry would occur. But really, I think that's one for next week, because I can't see that really happening in today's market, getting that needed price action. So one to look out for next week. GBP CHF. Similar story to the last one. It's really this retrace is the play. Yeah, these hourlies need to see some bullishness. They're quite flat at the moment, which is good in the context of potential bullish movement, because it's saying that it's basically, you know, it's encountered these come on, it's encountered these previous levels here as well. So the price is finding support at this level, so it's quite a significant area. But to be long on this, I'd want to see, you know, these previous days candles, the price move past their highs. 4 hourly looks good, that's fine, but it's these lower time frames. I want to see more bullishness in here, so, you know, start to cycle up with higher highs and higher lows. But again, yeah, that could be decent for next week. Stop loss below these previous lows here, yeah, outside the standard deviation. You know, it stacks as a trade that goes beyond 1-to-1 easily if there was an entry. 90. So 1-to-1 would, you know, be around about here after the price moves off a bit. So yeah, so 2-to-1 viably in that. So yeah, one to look for next week. We'll talk about that next week. This one is what? GBP JPY. Yeah, it's a very similar story. Playing a retrace here. So the price moving past these highs For hourly again, very bullish. Need it on the hourly. So these hourlies again just need to show some better signs of bullishness. Higher highs, higher lows. Be able to put standard deviation around it to the upside and look for it to find support of that standard deviation as it moves up. But conjecture until it happens. This one is GBP NZD. No, not yet. There's no decent signs of reversal yet. So pass. GBP USD. No, pass. Yeah, it's a tricky one because I say it's tricky, but it's one to leave, I should say. So this has context in terms of the retrace that we've seen the price pull back here. So viably, this could still be going up, but this move here, or this move here on a daily, still has potential bearishness in it. So if the price comes up, interacts with this level here, and then starts to fall away again, then it could be just a continuation of this overall bearish move that's swinging on the daily. But I wouldn't really want to touch that until the price gives a better indication of its intention. So I would leave that for today. Nope, price is too extended here, too near support, doesn't give good value for money. What's going on here? No, again, price is just too far gone to make this a viable trade for me. I'll be short intentions on this, but no, it's too far gone. No, same thing. It's at support. Doesn't give enough value for money. Pass. It's not really readable. This has context, but this has context as well. So there's the bearish intent, but there's also the bullish intent. So it's kind of in limbo for me. So pass. USDJPY. Same thing. Bearish intent, but there's a very decent bullish intent as well in the retrace. This move here. So pass until there's more information. And Bitcoin, no, would not be trading that at the moment either. So that's it for today. I will be back again on Monday. So here, Monday to Friday, every weekday. For now, looking to do these between about 7 and 8 a.m. British time. So yeah, don't forget to like the video and join the channel with notifications, and you can certainly ask questions whilst I'm live as well, if you want to. If anything here you need clarification on. All right, thank you, and I will see you again on Monday. Bye.